Joined now by Dr. Michelle Pauliah. She's inside an adjacent building in Loma Linda. Doctor, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
Doctor,
Hi.
thank you so much for joining us. We know you're busy and we appreciate your time tonight. Tell us about what you know, what you heard, what happened.
Yeah, so just a few minutes after I left the pediatric emergency department, I just got word from my co-residents that they heard that there was like an active shooter in the emergency department. So my co-residents are actually hiding down there under the tables, and quite a few of our residents throughout the floors, they've barricaded the doors until we've gotten word that the scene has been cleared. But for now, everybody is just kind of staying put until we get clearance.
Doctor, have you heard whether or not there has been clearance yet? Well, what's the latest that you've heard from maybe someone that you've been able to text that's a little closer to the pediatric area?
Yeah, so we've actually been just relying on our hospital system for the notifications, and about 15 minutes ago they said that the situation is still not cleared, so we're just staying put until we hear back from them.
Doctor, we saw some medical staff leaving the hospital escorted by law enforcement officers. Do you know anything about that, about any other operations that are happening right now?
I have no idea. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
And I've got a question regarding this type of alert, and that the text message said specifically this was not a drill. So this is something the hospital obviously has plans for in case they have to do it. It obviously came into play tonight. Is part of the deal when we saw so many people being escorted away from the hospital? My guess is some medical personnel does stay behind to care for the patients that can't perhaps move out of the hospital when something like this happens, right?
Exactly, yes.
So, Dr. Pauliah, I guess I want to hear, just speak from your heart to me. You mentioned co-residents, so that means you're also a resident there. This has got to be very frightening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely terrifying, having people you care about in this situation. So we luckily are all very connected and have been kind of staying in touch over text. So, it's kind of a situation that's still evolving and not really quite processing everything that's happening. It feels a bit unreal.
I mean, those co-residents were talking about how they were hiding and barricading themselves until they get the all clear. What have been some of their texts to you? Have they heard anything? Law enforcement, yelling anything around them? Did they tell you?
Not really. Yeah, all of it's just been kind of hearsay. So.
And Doctor, any clue why the pediatrics unit would be perhaps, in this case, the scene of something like this happening?
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah.
I guess just as a doctor, what's going through your mind right now? Obviously you come to the hospital to help people, and in a situation like this where you feel so helpless. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, obviously care deeply about, the patients that we serve, but even more so the people I work with on a day-to-day basis. I've seen them sacrifice so much, and it's hard to know that right now, a lot of us are pretty terrified for each other. So it's a difficult time.
Doctor, tell us about the pediatric emergency unit, the area that we're talking about. How many patients are in there usually being treated? What's the situation like there down there usually? Yeah,
it's a pretty busy ER. We are like a tertiary hospital, meaning that we get multiple patients from, all over, like from 7 different counties. So it's a very busy ER since we have a lot of specialties. So, pretty high turnover. We get a lot of really sick kids. So it's tricky.
So this isn't the NICU, right? This is where somebody would bring their child who might need stitches, or they're dealing with, just not feeling well, or being dehydrated, or having a high fever. Is that the type of patients you see in this unit?
We see, all ages, and kind of from the ER, they triage where they're supposed to go from the NICU to the, pediatric ICU to the wards. So it's kind of the first place that you go before you kind of determine where their next level of care will be.
And talk to us about the entrance to that area. I mean, are there multiple entrances?
Yeah, there are multiple entrances. It's connected to the adult emergency department, and then we also have multiple entrances throughout the hospital as well.
And because it's the emergency room, doctor, it's on the first floor, right, for easy access when the ambulance comes up or people show up. So it would be an easy way to enter the hospital.
Right, exactly.
And doctor, what have you been doing since you got the word about what's going on here?
Yeah, so luckily, because I'm in the building, adjacent, we were able to, barricade, the doors, and, luckily there's a lot of badge access to get here, so I think I'm in a pretty safe area. But
The badge access, I think, is really going to make a difference, right? So that people can't get into certain parts of the hospital. I've seen that where there's the public areas, there are the waiting rooms. Near those waiting rooms, there's security guards. So the badge access was possibly very helpful in keeping this person out of certain areas of the hospital, because this is a large campus, doctor. I mean, we're seeing it from our helicopter. It is so large. I mean, it would be almost impossible to track somebody down in there.
Mm-hmm. So it's been an interesting time so far. But my phone is dying. My family's calling. I might have to hang up from here.
We appreciate you
Thank
so
you
much,
so much,
Dr.
doctor.
Pauliah. Dr. Michelle Pauliah joining us tonight. We appreciate you, and we hope for the best.